Hi there, I'm Scott Hamilton, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review for your ears. Going to be talking about the Netflix film, Blood Red Sky. I'm going to do a very short review because to even talk about this movie, you have to get into spoilers. If you like vampire movies, the vampire in this movie, you have to know that that's what it's about, right? Okay. Is more like the 30 Days of Night vampires, if you remember that 2007 movie. It's one of my all-time favorite vampire movies. It was a good graphic novel. It was turned into a really good movie. I think they made a direct-to-video sequel that wasn't very good. But the original movie, 30 Days of Night, is well-acted, well-paced. It's a good, bloody vampire movie. And this movie, although completely different circumstances and all that, that's what this mostly reminded me of. It's a pretty serious German-UK production. About half the movie's in English and about half the movie is in German subtitles. You've got terrorists on a plane and a woman who may or may not be a vampire having to decide whether or not she's going to divulge that secret to her son and save everybody on the plane. Short review is, if that sounds good to you and you like 30 Days of Night, watch this movie. It's 2 hours long. It's well done for what it is. There's your review. For everybody else, we're going to get into a few spoilers. So the movie starts off with kind of what's happening at the end of the film. A plane they're helping the pilot, who's obviously not the normal pilot, land at an RAF base in Scotland. They think the guy behind the wheel is a hijacker, so they put snipers on him, and he says, "Hey, I've been injured. I'm one of the passengers, and we need help." Then we kind of cut to what happens before the plane takes off. This German woman, a widow, and her son are getting ready to board a plane in New York. She's suffering from some kind of disease, a blood disease, maybe leukemia, we don't know, but she's taking meds and she's scheduled her trip to only fly at night. When they get to the airport, her son kind of befriends a guy. They have a little scientific discussion about traveling around the world and staying in nighttime and that kind of stuff, and that kind of leads you to believe what you believe. And when they get on the plane is hijacked by terrorists, and she has to decide if she's going to divulge what this disease she has, because her son obviously has no idea. When you have the kind of terrorists on a plane with a wild vampire kind of storyline, this is a good idea. You know, you got people can't get away. You know, there's only so much room, only so much space. I think they got a decent cast, although you don't really know much about the terrorist. Dominic Purcell stars as the head terrorist, and man, I remember him in Blade Trinity. He was a much better-looking guy. He's just kind of a evil, deep-voiced dude in this movie. And there are other terrorists. And then you have some of the passengers of the plane. Some of them are fleshed out. Some of them are not. But functioning as a 2-hour kind of action thriller horror movie in the sky, it works just fine. I mean, I enjoyed it. Didn't mind the subtitles. It actually helped in a few scenes. I thought everybody, including the kid actor, did a great job in the film. The star, she really carries the movie, and I've never seen her in a movie before. I assume she's a German actress. But overall, not a great movie. I don't like it as much as 30 Days of Night. But for a Netflix movie that I watched basically for free, it was fine. It was a fine 2 hours. Pacing could have been a little bit better, but it pretty much is action from beginning to end. I mean, it really doesn't, there's not a whole lot of stop down for drama stuff. There's some interesting things where they fight more than one vampire. They use UV lights and they make their own stakes and that kind of thing. All in all, it's I don't know why I'm holding back. It's great. It's just really good. The budget was about $17.7 million, and it's all up on the screen. It looks like a much more expensive film. The special effects, the gore, are all very well done. Even when they're in the sky and some things happen with cargo doors opening and things like that. I'm sure it was all special effects, but it looked very realistic and very well done. All in all, it was a 2 hours well spent if you like vampire movies. Didn't blow me away. It's not something I'm going to seek out if they ever release it on Blu-ray or anything. But for an entertaining 2-hour vampire flick, you could do a lot worse. A whole lot worse, because the great vampire movies are few and far between. So not quite as good as 30 Days of Night, but still quite entertaining if you don't mind some subtitles for about half the film. You may enjoy Blood Red Sky. It's been streaming on Netflix for about a month. I'm sure it will continue to do so because it's getting some decent reviews. I'm not the only one who liked it. It actually got some really great reviews. And like I said, I don't know that I would give it great, but it's a different take on the whole vampire thing. She's, like I said, a more animalistic kind of vampire. Getting into some spoilers there, but there's a whole lot that happens in the movie I haven't gotten into, so I'll leave that for you to discover. Blood Red Sky was actually worth watching on Netflix. Check it out if you're so inclined of this subject matter. I'm Scott Hamilton, The ROCKFILE. My website is therockfile.com. Please check it out for links. Like, share, and subscribe. That's very, very, very helpful. And have a spectacular day.